I like that one. I've just been stopped off at pick up some supplies, I guess. Supplies. Yeah, I was just on my way back up. It's like like an army disposal store. And they got some fucking cool shit in there. They got a helicopter, an old helicopter, looks like Vietnam era. And a lot of old wartime memorabilia. There's some German stuff in there as well. I don't know if it's actual wartime stuff or if it's just post-war or what. But some cool old stuff. Tins of beans and stuff like that these poor bastards were eating, and it really made me realize how some have got it a lot worse than others, and it kind of reminded me that whilst having everything that I've worked for taken from me, it's still not, it's nothing compared to an entire country having everything that it worked for taken from it. So kind of though I'm still pretty sore about having my life savings taken from me, what I've worked hard for. A lot of other people have got it worse. A lot of people are a lot worse off. So, you gotta stop and smell the roses, I suppose, every now and again. Even if you can find some. There's always roses. And I'm just off to figure out which way I want to go. Just off to put the paperwork in to re-register these cars, hopefully get the books. And I'm a little pissy about that too, because most of my cars are classics, and when you in Thailand, it's been the law for probably about 8 years now that it is illegal and impossible, unless you're should be careful saying shit like that actually. It is impossible and it is illegal to import a second-hand vehicle. And so these classics, they fetch a nice price. The trouble is, if you don't have the original books, you're looking at you've lost about 20% of the car's value, roughly. People don't like to see that. There's always a question as was it imported legitimately? Was it a half-cut car and then put back together? Am I going to have problems down the road with it? With registering the car? Is the chassis stamped? Is it was it an original stamp from the factory? Was it stamped by somebody once it got here? All those sort of things, and also the story. A lot of classic car owners don't necessarily buy the car. They buy the story behind it and the history of the car. So I suppose this car's got history now, but not the kind of history people were looking for. So that hurts a little bit. That just that mere act alone has taken off a fair bit of value off my cars, and and it's taken that away from me as well. You know, if I am able to keep the cars. I can afford to keep the cars. I just don't know if I want to be in the same country that the cars are in. If I had the time, I'd just send them back home. And actually, I'd probably make a little bit of money doing so. But you know, I don't have the time, and actually, I'd probably get poo-pooed on the way home as well. You know, they could get stopped and scrutinized and generally just fucked with on the way back. So you know, the cleanest way to do it is just to try and sell them. Unfortunately, it's fucking painful. Anyone who knows me knows that, you know, they're one of the great loves of my life. The one of them in particular, my mum and I did a lot of work on. In fact, she probably did more work on it than I did. And yeah, that fucking hurts a bit. What do? You just cup it on the chin. Unfortunately, because I've proved that taking a stand on this one may not be the healthiest option. So yeah, I'm conceding. I'm fucking bowing out, and it hurts a bit. It hurts the pride. But that's what they speak about in you know, I've never done one before, but I've heard about it. You know, like a public speaking courses or whatever. You know, there's always, everyone's got those words that they say that you know, it seems that mine is, but filler words, aren't they? I don't know what you're supposed to say in there. I usually say fucking when I can't think of what I'm saying next. Yeah, and then fucking, oh yeah, fucking. So I suppose but a little bit cleaner. So fucking, that's that. Yeah, so fuck all the really report again. It's gonna, oh, maybe, oh, there's the donut guy. It's the donut man. Love some donuts, fella. Yeah. So, mate. Hello. This is, oh, lovely. Thanks, mate. Cheers. So, I'll tell you what, if anyone ever wants to fucking knock me on the head, well, heavy metals, I believe, is the modus operandi. I've bought myself a lovely knife. Check that bad boy out. Bit of an impulse play. So, videos now, innit? Let's sit around and eat donuts. You ever seen them? They're fucking weird. People, my girlfriend does it. Sit and watch people eat for hours. And then sit there and go, I'm hungry. I'm not fucking surprised. You just sat there for 2 hours watching someone stuff their face full of food. Fucking weird. I don't know. I watch people do burnouts for ages. I can watch people doing burnouts for hours. I suppose it's just it's the same thing, isn't it? Fuck, there's some traffic going out of town. So yeah. Just joined in. That's another episode of Benny's bullshit boring videos. There's fuck all going on, except I'm eating donuts. You remember that Ice-T song? Ice-T says to the copper, "Why don't you do your job?" The copper says, "I am doing my job. Right now my job's eating these donuts." I know. Remind me of that. Yeah, it occurred to me today that I might actually miss these people if they stop following me around. My life would be so fucking boring. And to be honest, they really give me direction in life. They give me purpose. In a sense, they do. You know, sometimes I don't know what I've got until they go ape shit and get clearly agitated when I'm doing something with it. So, for example, I put the washing machine in the car, go for a drive with it, and they just lose their friggin' minds. You know, there's people following me, a gas bottle for some reason. Now, there was, and again, keep in mind a lot of this can just be, you know, all part of the grand social engineering scheme of things. But there was a lot of attention, you know, given towards gas bottles, and I didn't know what the fuck that meant. All I knew was I was going to get a gas bottle, well, 3 gas bottles from the house, and lock them up real secure and safe, make sure that they were, you know, no one could get to them or tamper with them or anything. I might get back to that because that's definitely worth noting. And then there's one particular night I had a gas bottle in the back of my car. I had it strapped down with a ratchet strap. This is in my other car, the other car that's affectionately known as the Slut Ute. It's quick. It's set up to be quick. It's a Hoon's car. It's my daily driver, so it's set up perfectly for me, which means it's conducive to having a dickhead drive it. So, what I was doing, I was driving around looking for a hotel to stay in that I could have the dog, you know, relatively close by, and that I could keep an eye on the car because shit goes missing from the car all the fucking time. So I'm driving around, and as you can probably imagine, in town here, it's not that easy to find somewhere that's, you know, gonna let you have the dog sit out the front door, and also has a good view of the car. We're basically driving around, knocking on doors. Can hands drive if we have the dog sit out the front? No, okay. Fuck, I needed to stop there. Anyway. So, and then, you know, it became apparent that we were being followed by a good couple of cars. Whatever, it wasn't abnormal to be followed around. But then I realised there was a few more, and when I say I realised there's a few more, I realised it was probably always the same amount. It's just that when you drive around for long enough, you know, the chances of the same people following you, being behind you, legitimately, you know, through just happenstance, become less and less. So, you know, if you're driving straight to the shopping centre and the same cars all go to the shopping centre, that's not so strange. If you drive around for an hour and a half, different places, and you make a couple of U-turns and you know, you've been driving around the same places for a while, and those cars are still there, it becomes more and more likely that those cars are actually following you. So, I realised we were being followed just for shits and giggles. I brought him out here in the Sukhumvit, which is the main road that goes through Pattaya, and took off up whichever way I went first, because I drove around for about 5 hours after this. But I took off a couple of U-turns, slipped down a few roads, and they were gone. I had lost them. So then I had to come back out on the Sukhumvit so that they could find me, because I wasn't satisfied with that. And we did it all over again. I thought this was fucking great fun. So we kept doing it until about 4 o'clock in the morning. The point being, some things really are of interest to these people, and gas bottles is one of them. I don't know what's in the gas bottles, but back at that time, I was thinking that there was something of worth in there, you know, like maybe someone's, you know, and I don't want to say why I thought that. Probably come to your own conclusions, but yeah, I thought it was maybe something of worth, you know. I wondered if maybe someone's emptied the gas bottle, had someone cut open, you know, and put something of worth in there, and then and welded it back up, and then got it filled with gas. You know, it'd be a fucking great way to hide something. And I wondered if, you know, it was being followed around because, you know, they didn't want us to give it back to the frigging gas company or whatever. Because these are essentially their high-end bottles, and you just swap it after, you know, if you've paid for the bottle, you just swap them out, like most places, I'm sure. And but then when I came across the second gas bottle that was of interest, I realised that wasn't the case. And in fact, I wonder if it's got something to do with the numerous times that I have been rendered unconscious. There seems to be, I do often find rags. They're usually torn into quite thin strips, and they've often got this brown shit on them. And I don't know what it means. I don't fucking know. But I often wonder if it's got something to do with being rendered unconscious, as I have on many occasions. There's something else that I was sort of wondering, you know, again, I spoke about how, you know, one of the reasons I kind of thought maybe I should do these videos is just to get like a bit of feedback from some people. And some people might know, what is it about car air conditioning systems that I don't know, that some nefarious type want to get rid of. I was wondering, you know, do they collect hair and fucking dust and maybe, you know, evidence of some sort in that manner? But I was also wondering if, I don't know, these air conditioning systems have been set up in a certain way to do a certain thing. I don't know. There's a long-standing, I'm not saying that it's not true. In fact, I'm more inclined to believe it these days. But it's I guess you'd say it's a commonly held theory, thought, thing, whatever. I'm not very good with my words, certainly not today. Taxi drivers get the blame for it, not the blame, but they cop it for you know, having something in the air conditioning system, and you know, the story goes that they knock people, it's in the stories it's usually women, you know, sexy ladies, and you know, they start the air conditioning system up or whatever, and then the sexy lady goes to sleep, and then the ugly man, I don't know, the driver, the man who's turned the air conditioner on, he does naughty things to her. I don't want to, no, not naughty things, he does bad things. Naughty implies it's just cheating. And yeah, so that's how the stories go. And I've never given much weight to these reports, but it's been a few times I've woken up in the car wondering what the fuck's going on. Again, that could just be me being really tired, needing some sleep. So, yeah, maybe someone can tell me what it is with air conditioning systems, because I've found a few caches around of air conditioning systems, and when I say caches, I mean like a couple of hundred air conditioning systems, the pipe work and the actual, you know, the unit with the fan and the beer. Yeah, it's about beer. Is it beer o'clock? I think it's beer o'clock. Hang on, let me just check it. Ah, it is too. Yeah, I knew it. So, and also there's other things as well that are of, fuck, I'm just gonna come out and say it. Seat belts, air conditioning systems, and airbags. And I don't know if, maybe, I was also wondering if maybe that's because they're serial numbered. You know, maybe, certainly I would have thought airbags would be serial numbered and recorded, you know, perhaps with the car company, the manufacturer themselves, as going in a particular vehicle. So, you know, that could actually just, that could purely just hark back to stolen vehicles, or, you know, re-stamped vehicles. So, you know, if you've got a re-stamped vehicle or a stolen vehicle and you're going to pass it off as, you know, maybe you've done a body off chassis swap to register a particular vehicle or something like that. Maybe, you know, you would, and it looked like somebody was going to look over the car. Maybe you would want to remove the airbags and something else, just so that the proof of, you know, that the airbag doesn't match a certain chassis number or whatever. It could be something along those lines, I'm not sure. There's something in it, because I found fucking, for some reason, I find them all over the place. And, you know, wouldn't you, if you had a, you know, air conditioning system, or certainly seatbelt assemblies, if you had them in perfectly good working order, would you not sell them, or, you know, have them in a wrecking yard or something so you could sell them on, not just dumped where, you know, in the middle of the jungle where no one can find them. There's certainly, and you know, the other stuff that was also dumped in this area, these areas, is definitely suspicious, shall we say. So there we go. I'm not saying too much, just edging ever closer. You know, I don't want to say too much, to be honest, and I'm trying to be careful not to. But like I said last night, I really, bless me, I really, I've been pushed into a corner, and for the first time, I am taking a threat against my life seriously. You know, if ever you were going to take one seriously, now I think now's about the time. these people aren't the sort to fuck around. And like I said last night, just anyone that, you know, anyone nobody's watching. Yep. That's okay. It's really just to document what's happened. It's really to put a timestamp on it, so that the shit hits the fan tomorrow or the next day. I've already told my story the day before, and it's not as if I'm, you know, making shit up. Quick fucking look, and here I am, just because I'm fucking here and I can. Yeah. Come on, Bush. I really do, you know, I love my fast cars. But in regards to getting around fast, and you know, basically everything of late for me has been about whether I can get away from someone or not if I need to. And it's tough to know whether the slut ute, which is nimble, very quick, beats most things on the road, is a better vehicle than this four-wheel drive, because you can take this thing just about anywhere and give it a good bashing. She'll get you out the other side. Whereas the slut ute, you can imagine, it's low, stiff,